Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivsari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivsari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Motivanande Namostute. Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavan Vishvabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare. Usi Radhe Gokananda Bhagwan ki
Jai.
Jai.
Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai
Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, everyone.
Krishna. Right. So we are on Shlok 24, Adhyay 15 mein. Arjun is remembering all the mercy of Lord Sri Krishna. So Supreme Lord Krishna time and again has helped Pandus, right, in great बड़े बड़े संकटों से पार किया है और अर्जुन वही याद कर रहे हैं और महाराज युधिष्ठिर को बता रहे हैं कि Lord Krishna has gone back to his abode. So श्लोक 24 अनिल जी पढ़ेंगे.
हाँ जी. प्रायेण तद भगवत ईश्वरस्य विचेष्टितं मिथो निघ्नन्ति भूतानि भावयन्ति च यन्मिथा. Factually, this is all due to the supreme will of the Lord, the personality of Godhead. Sometimes people kill one another, and at other times they protect one another. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Right, at the end of the day, everything is managed by Supreme Lord. Yeah, Ravi.
जलो कसा जले यद्वमन्त महान्तो दन्त्यणीरस्य दुर्बलान् बलिनो राजमहनान्तो बलिनो मितः एवं बले यष्ठे यर्दुर्भिर् हरिद्परितरान् विभु यदुन यदुभिरनयोन भूर्भारान् संचयार्हार. O King, as in the ocean, the bigger and the stronger aquatic swallows up the smaller and the weaker ones, so also the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to lighten the burdens of the earth, has engaged the stronger Yadu to kill the weaker and the bigger Yadu to kill the smaller. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Right, like how the Yadu dynasty is going away as well from Dwarika. Reenaji?
देश कालार्थ युक्तानि हृतापुषमानि च हरन्ति स्मरतश्चितं गोविन्दां भीतानि मे. Now I am attracted to those instructions imparted to me by the personality of Godhead, Govind, because they are impregnated with instructions for relieving the burning heart in all circumstances of time and space. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So finally, Arjun is now remembering all the instructions imparted to him during the war, right? Remember the Bhagavad Gita is what is spoken by Lord Krishna to Arjun. So Arjun is now remembering all that because he's at this point he's so dejected that he doesn't know what to do, right? So now he's remembering those instructions, and what he's saying is those instructions are relieve the burning heart in all circumstances of time and space. Yeah, it says the Lord left behind him the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita, not just for the benefit of Arjuna, but also for all time and in all lands. Yeah, so the Bhagavad Gita being spoken by Supreme Personality of God is the essence of the Vedic wisdom. So, at the end says the Bhagavad Gita is therefore meant for terminating all different types of miseries. And Arjuna took shelter of this great knowledge which had been imparted to him during the Kurukshetra battle. Tarun?
एवं चिन्तयो जिष्णो कृष्णपादो सरोरुहं सोहादे नातिगाढेन शान्ता सिद्धिमला मतिम्. Sutta Goswami said, thus being deeply absorbed in thinking of the instructions of the Lord, which were imparted in the great intimacy of friendship, and in thinking of his lotus feet, Arjuna's mind became pacified and free from all material contamination. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So, evam chintyato jishno hai Krishna path saroruham, right? Lotus feet of the Lord. He is remembering, yeah, and then he's remembering all the instructions. So then Arjuna's mind became pacified and free from all material contamination. Sumit?
वासुदेवांघ्य ध्युनो ध्यान परिबृहित तरहंस भक्त्या निमिथा शेष काशाय Dishnor Arjuna's constant remembrance of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna rapidly increased his devotion, and as a result, all the trash in his thoughts subsided.
Nisha?
गीतं भगवता ज्ञानं यत तत संग्रामूर्धनि कालकर्मतमोरुद्धं पुनरध्यगमत प्रभुः. Because of the Lord's pastime and activities and because of his absence, it appeared that Arjuna forgot the instructions left by the personality of Godhead. But factually, this was not the case, and again he became Lord of his senses. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So he's remembering the Gita again. Tarun?
Vishoko Brahma Saptatya Sachinna Teta Sanchaya Leen Prakriti Ne Gunyadali Gadata Sambhava. Because of his possessing spiritual assets, the doubts of duality were completely cut off. Thus, he was freed from the three modes of material nature and placed in transcendence. There is no longer any chance of his becoming entangled in birth and death, for he was freed from material form. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Right, so if you just see at the end, Arjuna had attained this stage long before on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And when he apparently felt the absence of the Lord, he at once again took the shelter of the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita. And thus again he was placed in his original position. So this is the position of Vishok, or the stage of being freed from all grief and anxieties. So placing the faith in Bhagavad Gita. Sachin?
निशम्य भगवन्मार्गः संस्थां यदुकुलस्य च स्वः पथ्याय मितं चक्रे निभृतात्मा युधिष्ठिरः. Upon hearing of Lord Krishna's returning to his abode, and upon understanding the end of the Yadu dynasty's earthly manifestation, Maharaja Yudhishthira decided to go back home, back to Godhead.
Right. So now what happens is, after hearing that Lord Krishna has gone back, goes to his place, Golok, Maharaj Yudhishthira is now also deciding to go back. Where? Home. Where is the home? Really is. Right? Next home is back to Godhead. Ni Bhritatma Yudhishthira. Hare Krishna, Rasiksham Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
पढ़ेंगे आप?
तीर्थाप्यानुसृत्य धनञ्जयोदितं नाशं यदुना भगवतीं च ताम् एकान्तभक्त्या भगवत्या अधोक्षजे निवेशितात्मतो परराम संस्कृतेः. Kunti, after overhearing Arjuna telling of the end of the Yadu dynasty and disappearance of Lord Krishna, engaged in the devotional service of the transcendental personality of Godhead with full attention, and thus gained release from the course of material existence.
Hare Krishna, right? So as you can see, so Maharani Kunti then also fully got engaged into the devotional service. And what happens with that is, when you get devoted to the transcendental personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, with full attention, that's the way to gain release from the material existence. Like, so that's when you realize that you're, I mean, of course, Maharani Kunti and everyone knew that, you know, they have to go back to the Godhead, to the Supreme Lord. But at the end, you know, they had this power and they had this devotion where they could fully devote themselves to the Supreme Lord, and based on that, they could get rid of the total material existence. So, now why don't we just read this? Tarun, do you want to read?
Sure. The abode of the Lord is not a myth, as is thought by the unbelievers or ignorant people, but one cannot reach there by any material means like a Sputnik or space capsule. But one can certainly reach there after leaving this present body, and one must prepare himself to go back to Godhead by practicing devotional service. That guarantees a passport for going back to Godhead, and Kunti adopted it. Hare Krishna.
Right. So as far as Srimad Bhagvatam is concerned, or it mentions, right, that what is the, how can we go back to the Godhead, and the only way is by practicing devotional service. So that's like a Wi-Fi, you know, you don't need a shuttle or anything for that. You get connected, devoted to devotional service, to the transcendental form of Lord, and then can go back there. Okay. So yaya harad bhuo bharam tam tanum vijhavajah kantakam kantake neva dvayam chapi shutah samam. So the Supreme Unborn, Lord Sri Krishna, caused the members of the Yadu dynasty to relinquish their bodies, and thus he relieved the burden of the world. This action was like picking out a thorn with a thorn, though both are the same to the controller. Nisha? Nisha, mute पे हो आप. हाँ
अब आ रही है आवाज?
हाँ अभी आ गया. नहीं अभी नहीं आ रही वापस से निशा. Think are you on the virtual background or something?
I don't know. I'm using the Nikki's iPad, so I really don't know
Oh,
how to.
okay, okay. Now we can hear you though. Yeah.
Okay. यथा मत्स्यादिरूपाणि धत्ते जहाद यथा नतः विवारः कपितो येन जहे तच्च कलेवरम्. The Supreme Lord really equips the body which he manifested to diminish the burden of the earth. Just like a magnet, he relinquished one body to accept different ones, like the fish incarnation.
Right. Sumit.
यदा मुकुन्दो भगवान् इमां महि स्वातन्व श्रवणीयस्तकतः तदा हरे वा प्रति बुद्धे चेतस मा भद्रे हुतु कलिन्वर्तत.
When the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, left this earthly planet in his self-same form, from that very day Kali, who had already partially appeared, became fully manifest to create inauspicious conditions for those who are endowed with a poor fund of knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So such an important aspect is mentioned, right? So Kali Yuga started, and what does Kali Yuga do, right? It becomes fully manifest to create inauspicious conditions. For whom? For the ones who are endowed with a poor fund of knowledge, right? Who are not with the devotional service, right? And I think we read, right? How many years of Kali Yuga? You know, how many years are there in Kali Yuga? Do you remember?
A lot.
What,
A lot
4.8 million or something?
more.
It was 432,000
Yeah.
years,
422.
right? That's the Kali Yuga portion. Yeah, that 8,064 is Brahma's day and night.
Kalpa.
But yeah, so 432,000 years in Kali Yuga, and how many have passed so far?
5,000.
5,000, right? So only 5,000 years have passed. So we still have 427,000 years of Kali Yuga coming up. So it is more and more important that, you know, we at least try to devote ourselves to the devotional service. Tarun, ready?
युधिष्ठिरसा तत् परिसन् सपनं बुद्धा प्यूर्कारास्त्रेका गृहे तदात्मनि विभव्य लोकभ्रमरान्त्रा जिह्मा हिंसनाद्ये अधर्मकर्णं गमन्य पर्यधत्. Maharaja Yudhishthira was intelligent enough to understand the influence of the age of Kali, characterized by increasing avarice, falsehood, cheating, and violence throughout the capital, state, home, and among individuals. So he wisely prepared himself to leave home and he dressed accordingly. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So what happens in Kali Yuga is Adharma Chakram. Basically, all those things as we see on a daily basis, right? Almost everywhere in the world. That's what I see. It's written. Age of Kali is still to run for 427,000 years. Ravi?
स्वराट पुत्रम विनीय मातमन सु समगणेः तोय निव्यापतिम भूमेर भयशि च जाव्यहे. Therefore, in the capital of Hastinapur, he enthroned his grandson, who was trained and equally qualified as the emperor and the master of all land bordered by the seas. Hare Krishna.
Right. So he enthroned his grandson. Who is the grandson?
Parikshit.
Parikshit Maharaj, right? So Yudhishthir Maharaj now is giving the throne to Parikshit Maharaj. And he is planning to go back to Godhead. Sachin?
मथुरायां तथा वज्रं शूरसेनपतिः ततः प्रजापत्यां निरुपेक्षितम् अग्निम् अपिपाद स्वरः. Then he posted Vajra, the son of Aniruddha, grandson of Lord Krishna, at Mathura as the king of Surasena. Afterwards, Maharaja Yudhishthira performed a Prajapatya sacrifice and placed in himself the fire of quitting household life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? Placed in himself the fire for quitting household life, right? Quitting the material aspects. Right, so as you can see, so there is no chance of getting out from the conditioned life of material bondage. No one should follow the suicidal policy of neglecting one's supreme task of attaining the highest perfection of life, namely going back home, back to Godhead, and that is to be done with full devotional service. Yeah. So I think we'll probably pause here. Siksham Prabhuji, you want to say something?
हाँ प्रभु जी। ये सेक्शन हम लोगों ने जो पढ़ा उससे दो तीन चीजें क्लियर हो गया। अर्जुन जब कंस्टेंटली भगवान को याद कर रहे थे, रिमेम्बर कर रहे थे, तो अर्जुन को क्या हुआ, जो ग्रीफ और जो दुखी थे भगवान को जाने से, वो उससे बाहर आ गए। इसका अर्थ ये हुआ कि अगर हम भी भगवान के सेवा में उनके स्मरण में जब लगे रहेंगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली हमारा भी ये स्टेज वो आ जाएगा। ये भौतिक ताप जो है, त्रय ताप, यह तापों से हम लोग छूट जाएंगे। दूसरा उसमें इम्पोर्टेंट था कि अर्जुन को स्पिरिचुअल जो एनर्जी आया, स्पिरिचुअल एनर्जी जो आया, उसके वजह से भी क्या अर्जुन उससे एक्सेल कर गए। इस हमारे जीवन में ये सारी स्थितियां आती हैं और हमको अगर भगवत गीता का ज्ञान हमारे पास हो, जो कृष्णा ने अर्जुन को दिया था और वो हम सबके लिए था, वो अर्जुन को माध्यम बनाकर उन्होंने दिया था, तो हमको उसका अनुसरण करना चाहिए। और फिर बाद में कलयुग का भी देखिए थोड़ा सा इंट्रोडक्शन मिला है कि कलयुग में क्या होने वाला है, और बार बार प्रभुपाद जी ये चीज को बता रहे हैं कि डिवोशनल सर्विस, डिवोशनल सर्विस, डिवोशन। भक्ति को प्रभुपाद जी ने इंग्लिश में डिवोशनल सर्विस के रूप में अनुवाद किया है, यानी डिवोशन इज डायनामिक, उसमें एक्शन होना चाहिए, एक्शन होना चाहिए, इसके लिए डिवोशनल सर्विस प्रभुपाद जी ने लिखा है। और डिवोशनल सर्विस में एक्शन क्या है, नवधा भक्ति। तो ये चीजें हैं, बार बार प्रभुपाद जी एम्फसाइज कर रहे, डिवोशनल सर्विस। तो हमको भक्ति के बिना पार हम नहीं पा पाएंगे, और भक्ति करेंगे तो अर्जुन के जैसा स्टेज हमको एक दिन आने वाला है। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for summarizing and explaining nicely. And since Sravanam and Kirtanam is one of those actions, as Prabhuji was mentioning, we will do the Kirtanam for next few minutes, and then we'll see you tomorrow. I think tomorrow we'll complete the Adhyay 15. So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,